Hello, hello! Pete's Packs here, and we're back with Throwback Thursday, episode number 64. Today we have the fourth deck from Ravnica City of Guilds, which finishes the set. Today is Dimir Intrigues. So, yet another hanger pack. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's see, Dimir Intrigues. The Dimir Guild is quiet and unassuming. So it's clearly running everything from behind the scenes. The transmute mechanic is just one way they manipulate their own fates. How they pull their enemies' puppet strings is truly wicked. Transmute, of course, being one of my favorite mechanics from the set. And there were some other really cool cards tied in with them, such as Remand. Good stuff. All right. And this was from 20 years ago. And so we have Murray Evans as our Pro Tour player for this one. You know, I miss the old Pro Tour player cards. Yeah, they were silly and got used for all kinds of stuff other than what they were intended for, which was, I guess, collecting and trading or something. I always thought they made good, like, soldier tokens and stuff. But this is what it is. All right. We have our insert. Nice little ad for F&M. So it's right around when they transitioned from Arena League to Friday Night Magic. Okay. One side we have a bit of the Ravnica City of Guilds story. Blurb on the House Dimir. Then an overview of the different mechanics from the set. Playing the deck. And then our deck list. So we have 11 islands, 10 swamps, 2 Dimir Aqueduct, 1 Duskmantle, House of Shadow, that's a fun one, 2 Lorebroker, 3 Vidalcan Entrancer, 2 Wizened Snitches, 2 Bell Tower Sphinx, 2 Dimir House Guard, 1 Mausoleum Turnkey, 2 Sewer Dread, 2 Dimir Infiltrator, 1 Sedek, Lord of Secrets, which is our first rare, 3 Lurking Informant, 1 Dimir Guild Mage, 2 Induce Paranoia, 1 Dream Leash, which is our second rare, 2 Last Gasp, 1 Ribbons of Night, 2 Disembowel, 3 Consult the Necrosages, 1 Clutch of the Undercity, 2 Psychic Drain, and 1 Dimir Signet. Nice. Alright. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if we can get that to refocus. And we'll zoom in some. There we go. Starting off, we have an island with art by Anthony S. Waters. We have another island, art by Richard White. I love the islands from this set. Another one with art by Christopher Moliere. And our fourth with art by Stephen Martinieri. Okay, all the other ones are duplicates from there. Such an iconic set symbol. It was a good set. Except we have our swamps. First one is by Anthony S. Waters. Love that campus or the cave aesthetic. Another one by Richard White. I believe is supposed to be the one for Dimir. Then we have Christopher Moliere and Stephen Martinieri, or Stefan Martinieri. And the rest are repeats. All right, next up, Dimir Aqueduct, art by John Avon. It's a land that comes into play tapped. When it comes into play, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Then you can tap it for blue-black. Nice. We have 2 Dimir Aqueducts. Next up, Duskmantle, House of Shadow. It's a land that taps for a colorless, and then for a white and a black target player, or not white, a blue and a black. My brain is mush today. Blue and a black, target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard, so target player mills 1 card. Let's see if we can get that to focus a little better. There we go. Next up, Lore Broker. Art by Alan Pollock, 1 in a blue for a 1/2 human rogue that has the ability tap, each player draws a card and then discards a card. We have 2 copies of Lore Broker. And yes, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, what the Dimir was doing back in Ravnica, this is in fact a mill deck. And it wasn't a terrible one either. Next we have Vidalcan Entrancer, art by Dan Scott. 3 in a blue for a 1/4 Vidalcan Wizard. For a blue and tap, target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. We have 3 Vidalcan Entrancers. Next up, Wizened Snitches, art by Greg Staples. 3 in a blue for a 1/3 Fairy Rogue with flying. Players play with the top card of their libraries revealed. That plus the Duskhelm was pretty mean. It's a good way of just keeping your opponent off of stuff. Very much in the spirit of the old Zvutzvong, or like Lantern Control. So it's a whole thing. Also, Lantern was standard legal at the same time as this, as Ravnica, because it was in the previous set, or the previous block of Kamigawa block. Next up, we have Bell Tower Sphinx, art by Jim Nelson. 4 in a blue for a 2/5 Sphinx with flying. Whenever a source deals damage to Bell Tower Sphinx, that source's controller puts that many cards from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard. We have 2 Bell Tower Sphinx. Next up, Dimir Houseguard, art by John Zalesnik. 3 in a black for a 2/3 Skeleton with Fear. Sacrifice a creature, regenerate Dimir Houseguard, and then you can transmute it for 1 black. So for 1 black and discard this card, search your library for a card with the same converted mana cost as this card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library, play only as a sorcery. Very nice. What's great is this grabbed Wrath of God. So this saw a lot of play and at the time. Except Mausoleum Turnkey, art by Daryl Ritchie. 3 in a black for a 3/2 Ogre Rogue. When Mausoleum Turnkey comes into play, return target creature card of an opponent's choice from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Next up, Sewer Drag, art by Joel Thomas. 3 black for a 3/3 Spirit with Swamp Walk. Sacrifice Sewer Drag, remove target card in a graveyard from the game. And we don't see Land Walk very often anymore. Next up, we have Dimir Infiltrator, art by Jim Nelson. Blue-black for a 1/3 Spirit. It is unblockable. And then you can transmute it for 1 blue and a black. This still occasionally sees some Pauper play, and it's a lot of fun with ninjas. 2 copies. Next up, Sadek, Lord of Secrets, art by Donato Giancola. 3 blue, black, for For 5/5 legendary vampire with flying. If it would deal combat damage to a player, instead put that many +1/+1 counters on it, and that player puts that many cards from the top of his or her graveyard or library into his or her graveyard. So instead of dealing combat damage, this mills your opponent. It is a lot of fun to do too. Next up, Lurking Informant. Art by Ron Spears. 1 and a hybrid blue-black for a 1/2 human rogue. It is 2 tap, look at the top card of target player's library. You may put that card into that player's graveyard. So again, lets you set up your opponent's draws. Or rather, unset up your opponent's draws. Good old lantern control. Before lantern control. In fact, there were several players in my local area that tried to make that work. Generally, it was like a Sultai kind of build. But that was also before Sultai was called that. I digress. That's Dimir Guildmage, art by Adam Rex. Hybrid blue-black, for 2/2 human wizard. 3 and a blue, target player draws a card, play this ability only anytime you could play a sorcery. And then 3 and a black, target player discards a card, play this ability only anytime you could play a sorcery. So, it's a fun one. Keeping your opponent empty-handed with it. That's pretty nice. Induce Paranoia, art by Jim Murray. 2 blue, instant. Counter target spell. If black was spent to play Induce Paranoia, that spell's controller puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is the spell's converted mana cost. This still occasionally sees play in Pauper, and is a really fun gotcha. We have 2 copies. Next up, Dream Leash, art by Alex Horley Orlandelli. 3 blue, enchantment aura, enchant permanent. You may play Dream Leash only on a tapped permanent. You control enchanted permanent. It was not uncommon to steal your opponent's lands with this. But it was a pretty great card at the time. Last Gasp. Thomas M. Baxa did the art for it. 1 and a black, instant. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. We have a effective clone of this in standard right now. We have 2 copies of Last Gasp. Ribbons of Night, art by Ron Spears. I love the art on this one. I love the art from this set in general, but big fan of the art for Ribbons of Night. 4 and a black for a sorcery. It deals 4 damage to target creature, and you gain 4 life. If blue is spent to play Ribbons of Night, draw a card. This was a limited all-star for Ravnica block. Disembowel, art by Chingo McFlingers. X and a black for an instant. Destroy target creature with converted mana cost X. For a while, this was absolutely premium removal in Legacy. It's still not terrible. We have 2 copies of Disembowel. In fact, that's really good tech for token creatures as well. Consult the Necrosages, art by Paolo Parente. 1 blue-black for sorcery. Choose 1. Target player draws 2 cards, or target player discards 2 cards. So, when you need cards, it fills up your hand. When you want to get rid of your opponent's cards, it's good at that too. 3 copies of Consult the Necrosages. Next up, Clutch of the Undercity, art by Pete Ventures. 1 blue-black, instant. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Its controller loses 3 life. Keep in mind that says permanent, so you can hit lands with this. And quite often you did. And then transmute 1 blue-black. Also nice that it goes and grabs Wrath of God or Zombify, which is why this saw play in Solar Flare. Next up, Psychic Drain, another really fun card that was a limited all-star and actually kind of good in standard. Art by Nick Percival? Nick Percival. That's it. Man. X blue-black sorcery. Target player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, and you gain X life. It was pretty nice. We have 2 copies of Psychic Drain, and then Dimir Signet, art by Tim Hildebrandt. The absolutely iconic version of the Signet. 2 mana artifact. For 1, tap, add blue-black to your mana pool. I miss having these in standard. Then we have a beautiful island for our foil. Love this one. The foiling on it is fantastic. And Murray Evans, the Mauler. Yep. Alright, well, thank you for joining me on this adventure with Dimir Intrigues from Ravnica City of Guilds. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. It really helps us out and I really appreciate it. And until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.